We're talking about when it comes to homelessness is not necessarily a problem where people can't get homes. It's a problem that everybody's strung out on fentanyl. We have a drug crisis,
There you
and
go.
that's the real issue. Is all of these people? Because I talk to these homeless people because I do see them, Dan, here in Dallas, and
Sure.
it's usually white people, and it's a lot of times it's homeless veterans, and that's what makes me sick, Dan. You as a veteran, you know this that we don't treat our veterans well enough, and then they end up getting on drugs, and then once they get on drugs, it creates a domino effect, and the next thing you know, they lose their house and kids and everything else.
Well, and we're paying more attention to the illegals that Biden Harris have shipped in versus helping American homeless people and veterans. That's what really pisses me off.
The country is deeply polarized, and that in itself is a threat to democracy. Our government has lost the confidence of the people. In 1964, in a Pew Research survey, 77% of the people expressed confidence in government. Last October, it was 20%. In the book, I argue that much that's wrong with the government can be fixed by statute. It also be fixed by constitutional amendment. And I say, rather than a series of constitutional amendments, isn't it time to start thinking of a new constitution?
What? So last year it was down to 20% confidence. Who was in charge, liberal professor? Your thoughts?
Well, the fact that they want to eradicate the Bill of Rights or, the Constitution is not a surprise to me whatsoever because during COVID, they didn't want people speaking out against the vaccine or against the lockdowns or against anything. So I wouldn't be surprised that all these liberals are the ones that want to be censored the most. And then you got Tim Walz. During the whole entire pandemic, all he wanted to do was censor people, and he's in line to be the vice president of the United States if something terrible happens. So I'm not surprised that people on the left want to eradicate our, God-given rights.
Not being an African American in this country, you wouldn't get it. This country was founded on racism. Some of you are going to say, oh, no, that's not true. This country is wonderful. This country was founded on racism. And the resolution was developed so that we could talk about condemning hate and racism and white supremacy, which is at the front of the problems that we have in this country.
Okay, white supremacist, let me hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, they want to make no, but Dan, this is actually serious. They teach this in school, critical race theory, and they make all these young kids, whether they're white, black, whatever it is, they separate them in groups, and that inherently is racist once you start separating kids in groups and telling them that they should feel guilty for, people for things that people did way before they were ever born. So it's insane. Does racism exist? Yes, but not like this woman explains.
We have a Texas Democrat state rep, a young woman who says, guess what? The Democrat Party has lost its way, and so State Rep Sean Theory is switching parties. And then number two, Lowe's, the big box store, Lowe's, Home Depot. Lowe's is now caving to pressure from our good friend Robbie Starbuck and millions of conservatives online, and they are getting rid of their DEI policies. I'll give you the final say on those two anti-woke stories.
I'm happy to have Sean, come to the conservative side and Lowe's and Harley Davidson. I'm happy that they got rid of their DEI programs. Good work, Robbie Starbuck. But what I'm worried about is that Delta Airlines, American Airlines, all these airlines that I fly on every single day still have DEI. And now two people just died on a Delta flight where I think a tire blew out. I'm scared to fly.